Morning, guys. Let's go through a review of what happened yesterday before I do the morning analysis video. So let's see what happened yesterday on Tuesday, the 16th of February. We'll start with Euro, actually, as usual. So Euro, 8 o'clock in the morning when we start trading, use signal overnight. This is the high put in overnight. And then this is where I entered. Stop was below this low. Pretty powerful bar at 8 o'clock in the morning after reacting to this kind of trend line here. Maybe something like that. We had like a nice, this acted as nice support. We came up, unfortunately, we didn't get to 1R. This is risking 24, we got to 17, so over half hour. So if you had half hour target, then you would have got this one. But unfortunately, once we reached that, momentum kind of dried out, and we had this big outside bar on the way back down, which led me to want to take this short. Also, where the signal is, we would be breaking this trend line that was previously support. So the signal goes on. I wanted to wait for a clear break. I think when you see like a structured pattern like this, so some clear tests of a trend line. I used to struggle with where I put my entry. So do I wait for this low to be clear? Do I wait for this low to be clear? Do I wait for this low? Or do I wait for the first support of this trend line to clear? I guess there's no real wrong answer. It depends which kind of trader you are. But when the structure is clearly defined, I find after a few years of trading now that the best place to enter is usually on the first break of that pattern. So in this case, it was here. Now it was a difficult place to decide where to put the stop loss because there was no kind of bar. This bar just completely tore through everything. What I usually like to see is some kind of like this bar closes here. They find some support on the next bar, puts in something like that, and then the next bar we completely eclipse that and go through. So I was stuck with my stop loss up here. Now you could have been a little bit more aggressive and say that this is a false breakout of this kind of resistance. So you can just like put your stop in this location, and that would give you a more aggressive target. So you would have had, if your stop was here, 29 points, you would have achieved 1R exactly on this low. But what was in the way was big round number. So I was happy to take this trade off with a half hour win. Had I left it on overnight, I probably would have got it by now. But yeah, that was Euro. So one small loss. Oh yeah, sorry, I need to talk you through. This is quite a big resistance area previously. So the reason why this is a small loss instead of a true break even is because if there's enough previous resistance, I like to risk a little bit more for just in case we rotate back down, we find support of the previous resistance and keep going. That my stop loss doesn't get spewed. Recently, this hasn't worked in my favor. Maybe I should do a blog post comparing what would have happened in these two different alternate realities. Right, GU. The setup was quite nice. We had this kind of tight range on President's Day, which was on Monday for the afternoon, then some overnight movements, which was rejected. Then this is London Open, this bar here. and we had the signal on the low, which was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We had the breakout. Now, this is again depending on what kind of trader you are. Where do you put the stop loss? I went for the more conservative stop instead of the more aggressive stop. So this is conservative, this is aggressive, and this is my entry. Had I been aggressive, my stop loss would have been 41 pips away, which wouldn't have got there anyway. So yeah, this would have achieved half our target, but then we got stopped at break even on this nasty bar that spewed everything. So that was the only trade on GU. Right, UY. This is the range overnight. It's been on a tear up UY. So with the longs, you have more chance of them working out because you go in with the trend. With this short, I wanted to be a little bit more proactive or not reactive. So I think my target was just behind here, stop being up here. So we came within a few pips of target, but unfortunately this is 27 and we got to 23. Yeah, so we were a few pips away. I think I had this kind of trend line marked up instead of this high being an obstacle to get over. So I ended here. If I was going to be a little bit more reactive, I would have taken it off on this level. But it would have given me 0.75R. Instead, I wanted to wait for the full 1R. I thought maybe we could come back to this. We have been going up a long way. There's also a big round number that can act as a magnet. So I was hoping that we would go a little bit further, but we had a huge reaction. My mistake was not taking this trade because my stop would have been all the way down here. Afterwards, after reviewing my day yesterday, I figured that this area here, this happened to be a resistance on the way down, acted as support on the lower time frames. This is a big outside bar, nice 2-bar reversal. The trend is going up. I should have taken this entry, although it was 1 o'clock. And my stop could have been aggressive somewhere around here. And then I could have taken it off around big round number or left on overnight. Would have been a good one. So this is going to go down in the journal as 1R. And the reason for missing this is a trade that I didn't take. I decided not to take. It wasn't a missed trade. So that goes in as a didn't take error. And if you want to know what I'm on about, I did a blog about it on the weekend, how I journal my trades and how I know I got error codes for different types of errors, and then I can see at the end of the week or the month which errors are costing me the most money and which areas of my trading I need to work on. EY, nasty. I hate when markets are like this. This is a big round number, which saved us a little bit. But yeah, when euro or when the dollars move in, then EY just gets torn apart, and I always get tagged in it, like I did this one on this high, immediately offside, and then had a few hours of uncomfortableness, discomfort, I guess. And I ended up taking it off for a small loss towards the end of the day. So yeah, I stuck to the rules. I wanted to wait for this high to clear. The signal was a little bit more aggressive, but I didn't want to enter there. And my stop was down here. So luckily we had the stop in the right location below this high and this kind of support and big round number. So there was enough in the wave that we were able to get a small loss instead of a full loss. GY, there was nothing on GY yesterday. I decided not to take this trade above big round number this high. If I was aggressive, stop would have been here. I think it would have been a break even. EA, now 8 o'clock in the morning. When I entered all my trades, I think I was in like four or five positions, and they were all immediately offside. My stop was down here below these kind of lows. The trend is downwards on euro against the Aussie. And then this market, you can see this kind of like price action from 6 o'clock until about 12. We were going nowhere. This is not the kind of image of a chart that I want to be in when trading. Lots of spikes. These kind of like opens near the closes near the opens, small bodies, big wicks. So I just got out for a small loss. And then kind of got his act together after I got out, and we had, well, I was going to say we had a bit more attractive price action, but when you look at that, it's not very attractive at all. It's pretty ugly. You see, this is probably my best trade of the day. Trend is obviously down. We've come a long way. This is really good momentum, and then the market kind of ground lower, and then we had this exhaustion by the exhaustion, like a run lower. The bulls run out of stops, and then this is the reversal bar that we wanted to see if you wanted to get long. Nice push up, 8 o'clock in the morning. We were entered immediately offside, like I said, with EA. It was not looking good. My stop was below here, below this body. So it's a little bit aggressive. I could have been conservative and put the stop loss down here. So this is conservative. This is the aggressive. That's where I had my stop. But once we put in this bar here, this is an outside bar compared to this inside bar here, which is almost an outside, inside, outside formation, but let's just call it an outside bar pattern. This bar indicates bear weakness, and this bar indicates bull strength. So after this one, I had no reason to scratch the trade, so I stayed in, and we got to 1R. Had my stop been in the conservative location, then we would have reached 1R anyway. So no wrong here. I could have been a little bit more proactive and move my target from here to here for an extra half hour. This is a big round number, and it looked to be the target for the bulls. As you can see, it became resistance before we broke through overnight. So yeah, pretty happy with that UC trade. AU, I mean, had a good read on this market. We found resistance at 78. Let me just... Yeah, 78 is big round number. This is the signal for the break higher. This is the signal to the break lower. A breakthrough here, and then the bulls couldn't test these highs. They could only get as far as big round number. So that to me is a little sign of the bears to kind of have their counter attack here. So I was happy to enter after a break at these lows, and it was looking really good. We got to 0.75R, and then the market retraced. I even risked a little bit more to get... I thought there was enough previous support here, so I put my stop risking a little bit more, and I got stopped right at the high before the market came down, and overnight I would have got the trade. So extremely unlucky here on AU. Small loss even. Gold was nice. I had this previous. I had this support area marked up. There was a trend line that we broke. Again, I said earlier that once a trend line is clearly defined, that you could take the more aggressive entry, but this was pretty big area support for me. So I was like, I'm risking a few more pips just to be able to make sure that we clear this area first before entering. So I was happy that this kind of extra little bit of extra few more pips or points, sorry, to place my stop above these highs, and instead of having the entry here, put it here was worth it, and it seemed to work anyway. Nice sell off in gold, and we got 1 hour without too much fuss. And then FTSE, which has been my nemesis over the last couple of weeks. Let's just start with this kind of trade in. I mean, I didn't trade any of this because it's not a trending market. This is a ranging market, and if you're trading breakouts, I mean, you're just going to get tagged everywhere. Everywhere you enter, you're immediately offside. I mean, this one might have worked. Yeah, it's not. This is what you want to be in, or even this. But in fact, FTSE put me off so much that I didn't even trade it yesterday when we had this lovely breakout. So I missed this one. Sorry, on President's Day. This was Monday. I didn't trade Monday, so missed this nice one. You could have been forgiven for trading FTSE on a US bank holiday. It has no significance to the FTSE whatsoever, President's Day. So you could have traded that. But anyway, this is a nice upwards trend. We had a signal to break this high in the morning, and I got tagged at the very high, immediately offside, and no real chance of getting out of break even. I thought that once we tested these lows, we were going to go up, so I left it on, and we just touched the entry point and then came back down. So you would have to be really quick to realize that the bears are still in control and take this one off. So that was a loss for me. So I thought that if we try the longs, that didn't work. We could try the shorts. I entered here. It was looking good. I thought that it was worth keeping on through these couple of bars, because I thought if we didn't go up here, then we would at least give back some of these gains from Monday. But we didn't. We just continued to trade sideways. So I got out here on the second test of this low. So unfortunately we got tagged at the high. Otherwise that would have given us a 1.5 hour win for the day, but this was a 1 hour loss. We ended up the day with only half hour in front. So a positive day, but not spectacular by all means. Anyway, hope that was okay for you guys. I'll try and do the morning analysis for the daily candlesticks later on today after a coffee. Nice one. Have a good day.